Welcome back to the Magic Circle. I cleared out most of the hivers up above, so let's head down into the sewers and clear those out as well before I go back up and confront the Hiver Queen up on the surface.
Okay, this one's really moody. Let's give it a shot. Here we go.
What are these on your walls, Maze? Are these screen grabs of gamer profile icons? Oh, is this a cute little voice recorder?
No, you bitch! You did not kill me. You cheated somehow, or you got your boyfriend to snipe me. I hope you know that cheating gives you pussy cancer.
My god, they're trophies. How many do you have?
I've lost count. Not really, but that sounds cool. I call them my Chorus of the Damned.
Do you ever think about going back to pro gaming?
Nah, your reflexes peak at 23, 24. Another thing I've lost, chasing this ship date. But I tell you, after a day on this project, I do like to sit here, open an ice-cold beer, and just hit play on all of them at once. In fact, that sounds really good right now. Get out and close the door.
Oh, here's a rock, similar to the one that we had found on the other side of that lava path a while back. The rock comes with the second special ability, Fireproof. I can think of a case where being invincible to fire will be very helpful back up on the surface. The rock, like the mushroom, is an entity, and like the mushroom, we can give him ground to melee, and he now has this nice little rock mustache. I like to travel light with my allies, so I'm going to leave the corpse behind down here in the sewers, and we're going to move on.
Oh. Pretty sharp. It's a good B-roll.
Every world's got an in crowd and an odd man out. Like Starfather and his entourage, whispering in a tight little circle. And me standing at remove and shouting, "You ain't so hot! From here I can see all your asses!" And scheming to make it all fall apart. But if the oddball wins, hell, they become the new normal. No thanks. If there has to be a new boss, I choose you.
I looked up here and realized that I totally forgot to give the rock an ally. I can give him the ability to move and the ability to attack, but he'll just sit around neutral, unless I make him my friend. Looks like one of the flamers from up on the surface ended up down here. He appears to be hostile to me, but he's not attacking. Maybe this changelog will explain why.
Well, I've read my script. Thoughts?
It's a little safe. In Act 3, when Starfather returns from the dead, it feels cheap because nothing has changed. Respectfully, we've already solved this in fanfic.
Oh, that's a porn thing, isn't it? And I don't go in for that kind of...
Starfather should come back as a woman. For he hath known the shape of man and woman both. Your words.
This is surreal. You people know my world better than I do.
And if you run into a story problem, I can start a forum argument about it. They won't even know they're working for you. Starfather.
Tell me more about your dark art, my child.
Just like that, we've cleared out the sewers. Still a couple more hivers up on the surface before we take down the Hiver Queen, so we're going to have to gear up a little bit. I've kept the Cyber Rat without the ability to do melee damage, just because I think he looks better without the helmet on. But we're going to need all the allies we can get, which is why I'm going to give him and this Flamer the ability to come with us. Take a look at this flamer when he starts rolling at us. You can kind of see the ghoulish face that we've given him as a side effect with the ability to walk around. As we start to pick up more and more abilities, I'm going to do a little bit of mishmash experimentation, and I think that abilities combined with the character models, some of them look really cool. You can see these tendrils are the influence of the groupthink ability, so it appears that the Hiver Queen is, unsurprisingly, sitting over here in this castle. That should just about be the rest of the Hivers. So let's see if we can't take down the Queen. This changelog is a little bit unsettling. But we have 4 allies. Unfortunately, I can't trap the Hiver Queen, even though I lack the life to be able to do it, so we'll send in the crew and see what they can do. Oh dear. The Hiver Queen does not mess around. I'm gonna have to lick our wounds a little bit, we'll head back. Oh god. That would be really bad, but luckily for me I can just warp to a new rip. Although we can't take down the Hiver Queen quite yet, I'm sure there's abilities out there that we can take advantage of. So we'll keep moving on.
Coda, I'm alone in a conference room. I scheduled a meeting with myself in search of quiet. What is it?
A Mr. Byron Rafe called? You're a loan officer?
Yes?
He says you've taken out some, quote, Faustian personal loans to make payroll, and unless this project hits big, which it will, you end up slightly homeless. So, please stop offering me a salary?
Coda, I find the right people, I lock them in a room. The only word for what emerges is a miracle. Or we kill each other. Either way, problem solved.
Sounds like issues with development have gone beyond just purely creative. Whoops, almost forgot to grab the behavior from this howler. You never know when you'll need it. A lack of money is definitely the quickest way to get a project shut down, and Ish appears to have, against all better judgment, gambled almost his entire life on this project. Maybe we should think twice about trying to shut it down. I did pick up a fireproof ability from our pal Rocky back there, so I could go take down those flamers, but I think I'd rather head back into the SS Lemina.
It's every room, you know. I remember for one of these hangars arguing on your behalf. No, he or she will want to see the sky. I guess the player has always been this unknowable, this radiant blank. I know how it sounds, but I think I started to regard you as my children. I can only hope that somewhere out there, one of you felt the same.
I happen to know about a little secret underneath the elevator here. So once again, we're going to recruit the services of Clyde and the Lightning Rod and head down below the elevator shaft.
Time was, I wanted to be one of them. Gods. Always this urge to show them where they went wrong. Act of love. But that's the punch, right? If they admit that all this is their fault, they can't call themselves gods now, can they?
Normally, of course, we would be trapped down here. Fortunately, we have the ability to warp via the map. So we're going to have to warp back up to the surface and make our way back over here. Playing this game for a while, you can start to get used to the black and white, almost hand-drawn look of the outer world here, but it is really refreshing compared to the art style of the SS Limina.
Now, boss, maybe you see a problem and your solution don't seem clean enough. Like maybe the gods wanted you to do something else. Something perfect. Fuck that. Chasing perfect is what got them into this mess. If your way does the job, it's more right than they'll ever be.
The old pro is being a little dramatic. But once we pop into the Xeno lab over here, we'll be able to pick up a new tool that will allow us to attack the game a little more creatively than just walk and punch.
Obviously, we owe an immense debt to the Clarkian First Contact stories. I mean, you've played it by now, but I can't help pitching. An object nicknamed the Magic Circle appears in space, in a universe danger close to heat death, okay? But the brave souls who volunteer to suit up and pass through the circle come back dead, but wearing this beatific grin. Classic. I mean, if you aren't tingly right now, you have no soul.
Welcome to the Xeno lab. Here we have the Cerebra, who appears to have infected this corpse, transferring over its abilities. I'd really like to get my hands on that power, so I'm going to pull the old send the rat in through the test subject pit and see if I can't coax it out. Cyberrat isn't exactly cooperating, so I'm going to give him a little toss. In you go. Come on. There we are. Now that the Cyberrat has that ability, he's going to come out to attack this neutral rock, and we can get our hands on the new attack, Mind Swap. Now, Mind Swap is interesting because, as it says, it literally swaps every single attribute from the attacker to the attackee. It also manages to hold the attackee in place. I'm going to demonstrate that with our pal the Cyberrat here. I've given him Lightning Rod and Fireproof. And very quickly I'm going to make this Doorbot an enemy, just to show it off. In a more controlled environment, let's say. As soon as I let him free, he immediately goes to attack me, and my Cyberrat intercepts him. So you can see the Doorbot is now allied to me with these powers, and the Cyberrat is an enemy. Let's go ahead and rally our troops back together and get moving. Mind Swap is pretty strong, so I think I'm just going to bring the Rat and Rocky for now. I'll leave all the rest here. Somehow I've managed to make it this far without actually discussing the dual meaning of the game's title, the Magic Circle. Prepare yourself, because this is about to get a little pretentious, maybe. Obviously, in our game, the game that's happening right in front of us, the Magic Circle is the ring of the Starfather. Starfather is the father to us all, and we as his children have been tasked with retrieving it for him. However, the magic circle holds meaning as a concept outside the game. The magic circle is, simply put, the border between reality and a virtual world. When you enter the circle, something quote-unquote magic happens, and you're able to take part in the fantasy universe around you. It's similar to the fourth wall, in a sense. However, the fourth wall keeps a spectator out of the fantasy, allowing them just simply to peer in. The magic circle envelops you in a fantasy, allowing you to become part of it. Of course, in order for that to happen, you need to want it to happen.
Hope you ain't expecting actual magic, 'cause all this, just a cheap trick. And under that, a cheaper one, all the way down. The magic comes from outside the circle, like you.
Well said, Pro. Designers, artists, composers, and programmers can set up an incredibly detailed facsimile of their grand vision, but unless the player can find something to hold on to, they can end up feeling detached or unable to see the game as anything more than just a pile of source code prompting user input.
So Darkest Hour stuff. Oh, we realized halfway through dev that we couldn't support a world this dense. We had out-of-memory errors, terrain holes. I was despondent, certain we'd have to cancel. But then one morning, as if by actual magic, they were gone. And look, I'm a highly public atheist, but damned if I didn't feel like something took pity on me. So here's to you, whoever you are.
At the end of this piece of the SS Lemina, we've stumbled on another rock, which will be very useful for when we go take on those flamers over at that pass. We've stumbled into Avenadier's prison, which, funnily enough, is on the other side of that very pass that we were talking about. Although with 2 fireproof abilities rather than 1, we should have a bit of an easier time taking down those flamers. A bit faster than just 1.
Hi. I thought you recorded commentary when the game was, done. I'm the newbie. I have work to do.
It's a making-of track for the special edition. Listeners, you're nerdy enough to have played our multiplayer text dungeon. So you were probably stabbed by the infamous Maze Evelyn here.
Woo! Happy to be here, man. Shout out to the Frag Hags, my old clan.
Yes, you ladies gate-crashed my cooperative story experiment and killed, well, everyone. Why it started selling better as a sort of murder circus, well, I hired you to explain.
Not everyone. Still eats at me that I never managed to gank you. I mean, Starfather. But your avatar had that immortality flag? Cheater.
You're a god now, my dear. It's not cheating if you write the rules.
Before we head through to Nadir's prison, I happen to know of one more object in the Doomed shuttle that we're going to want to get our hands on. So let's clear out this part of the SS Lemina before we move on. It looks like it's behind these airlock doors, so let's go ahead and cycle the airlock. Oh dear. It appears the shuttle is not connected to the airlock, and in fact the airlock is exposed to open space. With the body we suffocate to death and die. Fortunately, as a ghost, we don't really care about exposure to space. Also, funnily enough, I think it's interesting that the rock doesn't die when exposed to open space. So, as a ghost, we can hop down and discover the hatchworm. Unfortunately, we can't control it much, but we can hop inside it and grab some of its abilities. Melee is always useful, but more importantly, we're looking for Parasite. The ability to infect an attacker and kill it is something that's probably going to be helpful. And it's also unique to this creature. I can't exactly make the jump back up to the airlock doors, so I'm going to take the dramatic death. Let me close the airlock and we will bring life back into ourselves and our ally, and keep going towards Nadir's prison. Real quick, before we take off, I actually kind of want to see what Parasite looks like on a creature that isn't the tapeworm. Oh, ugh. That's kind of gross. A parasitic rock. I also haven't really shown fireproof. It just kind of turns you red. I bet we can make the rock look real messed up. Yeah, Yeah, that's awful. Let's go.
Oh, this question again? Can't we do another fan mail? Okay. You people honestly want to know why I set this story in space? After 2 years of trying for a child with my now ex-wife, it turned out I was, in fact, sterile! Yeah! Untreatable. And space is, in a word, universal. I could write about my empty nest, but in that same abyss, you'd see whatever you're afraid of. The sequel was my O2 low, untethered spacewalk into nothing's orbit.
It appears that the Mushroom Wizard has been trapped in Avenir's prison. We'll need a key to get him out. For now, though, I happen to know about a little secret, so let's go see it.
Nice.
Please enter your voicemail code. Welcome.
Ishmael Gilder. Also Starfather.
You have exceeded your mailbox limit. The last unplayed message was left 8 years, 6 days, 7 hours ago.
Oh, Ish. Play the one before that, I guess?
Mr. Gilder, this is Dr. Wellesley at the clinic again. I'm afraid the results haven't changed. Even if your ex-wife were willing to go in vitro, I'm afraid that biologically speaking, the problem closer to home is beyond the reach of any treatment I can offer. My advice would be to start making peace with the idea of adoption. I know that's not what you... I'm very sorry. Call back if you want my expanded analysis, or just to talk.
Now that we have 2 allies with the ability to withstand fire attacks, I think maybe we should go clear out these flamers. If only to get our hands on their attack, the Fire Burst. What? Why did the rock die? He is fireproof. Oh! Parasite. Yeah, that'll do it. Parasite actually triggers when he gets attacked, not necessarily when he takes damage, so... Parasite triggered, that caused him to actually kill himself, and then he went and tried to infect one of the flamers with his Parasite. I'm gonna go ahead and strip some of these behaviors from these guys. We don't really need all of them, but we'll take a couple. Fire Burst obviously works exactly as you would expect. Lets you shoot fire out of your mouth, and giving it to Clyde makes him look a little more ferocious than normal. Now that I have a couple more instances of the fireproof ability, I think we should head around and go take care of that other pack of flamers, just to clean them up.
You may be wondering when I'm gonna let out an evil laugh and stab you in the back, twirling my mustache with my offhand. Well, Don't panic, boss. But in a way, that already happened. Bringing you here was it.
Ironically enough, Avenir has left the Forgotten Key just a room over from her prison. We have the ability to fill in the key and the ability to delete the key, but we can't go get it. It looks like some lazy developer made the collision box for the lava extend way too high above the surface. So, because we can't interact with the Jugadeo who is dead, we fall right through it and land in the lava. If I fill him in, then maybe I can jump over the top of him, so we'll do that. Nope. Jugadeo falls into the lava and he's dead. So, maybe if I get a little sneaky, I could try to do that, but if you've been paying attention to the red, then you know pretty clearly what you're supposed to do here. I'm a ghost, Jugadeos are a ghost. Jugadeos make a platform. Simple enough. It's almost a little too simple, I think. I could pick up the key and go free the wizard, but I'd like to do something a little more intelligent than that. Unfortunately, the wizard's gonna have to remain trapped for now. But we've definitely got big plans for that key. We're gonna have a little bit more fun than just picking it up. There are these couple more flamers that we have to take care of, and we have a whole posse of fireproof friends. So we should be able to make short work of them. Our path forward lies beyond the Sentinel, and I think we finally have the abilities necessary to take him down. We have Fire Bursts, which theoretically should be able to reach him. This is kind of a brute force solution. We could keep sending people at him with fire, but I think we may as well take advantage of Mind Swap. The perfect ability for this situation. We get to lock out the Sentinel, and the Rock will take his place. And give him his abilities as well. Holy bejesus. Oh, that is terrifying. The Sentinel is now allied with us. Wait, I can make him grosser. Hold on. We'll get rid of the tentacles, that's too easy. Yeah, that's pretty good, we're getting there. Wait, one more touch. Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. Oh, you're a disgusting monster. However, by defeating him, we have gained 2 new attacks. Well, a new piece of movement, Float, and a new attack in Repulsor. Float is unfortunately not flight, so giving a creature float means that it just hovers in place. We'll go ahead and demonstrate that here with the Cyber Rat. He can, however, be picked up and thrown. That's kind of nifty. I'm sure we'll find some use for that. He can almost make it across, and theoretically I might be able to reach him to jump on him, but he's kind of a bad platform, so I think instead we're going to have to use, say, a Jugadeo.
So, why you? Why don't I play God? I think maybe if you're gonna get into the creation racket, you can't overthink it. You just say, what if? And you change the world. After I quit trying to help the gods, I used what I knew to pull pranks on them. But now, I don't know. I see every punchline coming. I smirk at the idea of a joke. This ain't about pity. But a god ought to take some joy in his work.
It was pretty easy to get across with Float and a Jugadeo. but I'd like to offer up a bit of a creative solution. Float is kind of boring. Platforms are kind of boring. We're going to experience a lot more platforms. So instead I'll summon our crew. And I think we'll use Clyde. Float isn't the only way to get across a platform, and in fact the Sentinel had the other solution. Repulsor. By making Clyde a repulsor and making him an enemy, he can blast us across, and now we're on the other side. Pretty unnecessary, but frankly, repulsor doesn't have that much use outside of that. However, it managed to get us across this pit and over to this piece of the SS Lemina, which actually contains the two objects that we will need to be able to take down the Sky Bastard and the Whirlybirds.
Ishmael Gilder, personal notes. Speech in the event of bankruptcy, draft 8, subsection, we'll say Q. Yes. Inside every man, woman, and child is this little voice which precedes consciousness, and it whispers, "Surely I deserve better than this. Why, I'm the hero, after all, aren't I? I should be the one in control." And as a species, I think humanity almost outgrew it. But then we stepped in, peddling our fever dreams, and said, "No! You've been right all along. Push this button, and you'll never have to feel that way again." God. Cripes, how do I manage to be preachy and self-hating without so much as a segue? I'd better find some money.
Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.